Good morning, YouTube. It's the TD Watkins Morning Show. You know, this is not a Christian show. This is where we just talk about things. And I want to talk to you this morning. I'm outside. I'm planting this morning. And I wanted to go on and get this video out. But I want to talk to you this morning about toxic relationships and how do we detox ourselves from a toxic relationship. I was watching a show uh, this weekend, and it was called the confronting a serial killer, and it was about a black man that was a serial killer. His name was Sam Little, also goes by Sam McDowell, and in the second episode, it's on Stars, and he killed over 93 women. They were prostitutes, and the people just didn't care. He went just to all different states killing people, but because they were black prostitutes, they didn't care. But my main problem with him was there was a woman that was with him. I forget what her name was now. I think it's Miss Pam, but she was with him for years. She was 27 years older than him. And she wasn't with him when he would do the killing, but in the mornings, she would clean the car up. So she knew that something was wrong. One morning, she went out there and there was feces on the seat. She cleaned that up. You didn't ask your man, how did this dude get on the seat? Come on now. And so then the next time she went, there was hair and blood. She cleaned that up. And she would clean it up every morning. So he finally got caught with a lady that he was in the middle of trying to kill. He did 4 years. They said that she wouldn't have been a good witness. And this was in the 90s. 4 years for her. And he tried to kill this lady. You know, the policeman actually stopped him in the middle of strangling her. And when he got out, his woman, Miss Pam, her name might have been Sarah, but she went and got him from jail, took him to LA, and from LA, he called it hunting. He went right back to killing, killed 2 women that night. So my thing is, okay, we know he's a demon, but what's her excuse? Why would you love a man so much that you would allow him to have sex with other women, kill these other women, and be okay with it? That is the craziest thing. And so then I started thinking about all the women that I'm having to do a lot, you all. I'm sorry to do this side note, but my house got hit with a tornado last year. And so my neighbors are rebuilding their house, and we're in the midst of getting ours back together. But when the tornado came, it took our trees, it took everything. So I'm planting some fruit trees right now. But I couldn't figure out why in the world she would sit around and be with a man that was having sex with prostitutes and killing them, and I have a problem with it. That was crazy to me. That was absolutely insane. But that's what she did. And then I just started thinking, how do we love these men more than we love ourselves? How does that even happen in the real world? And you know that still happens. That, you know, we'll put up with 3 pounds of their SHIT, and they put up with nothing of ours, you know. And I was watching some of my bloggers, and they were talking about this show, Love and Hip Hop. But it's another show, I guess it's about relationships. And one of those couples is on there, Menendez and Yandy. And they said that they asked him, because she held him down when he was locked up, and they asked him, would he be willing to hold her down if she was locked up? And he said he didn't know. Well, my thing is, okay, that's an honest answer, because he's a man and he may hold her down, but that doesn't mean he would go visit her. That doesn't mean that he would be with her the entire time. None of that. So I felt like he was honest with his answer. He said, I don't know. What else do you want him to say? So I feel like as women, it's up to us. I'm sorry, y'all, that's my glove over the camera. Sorry about that. But I feel like as women, it's up to us to decide, okay, if we hold this guy down, that doesn't mean that he's going to hold us down. Is that going to be okay with us? And if it's not going to be okay, don't hold him down. And it doesn't even have to be a situation of the penitentiary. It could be any life situation. Just think about it. If you get sick, do you really think that your dude will be there for you? This is a cherry tree right here, y'all. And if you don't think that he's going to be there for you, you have to make a decision. Do I want to continue to stay here for him, with him? You know, if it's not going to be transactional and you just doing it because that's what you want to do, then just know that. You know what I mean? And just know that, hey, something happened to me. He may not be there, or you know, he may stand up and be there, but you know, and I know, 9 times out of 10, men are not going to stick with you if you get sick. You know, that's a rare man. That's a real rare man. But maybe that's when we need to choose better. And we also need to think, do we want to give them our everything? Because especially with black women, we're always taught, you know, we gotta hold them down. We gotta be there for them. Well, should we be there for them if they're beating us? Should we be there for them if they're disrespecting us? Should we be there for them if they don't want to pay a bill? I mean, these are things that black women have to think about, you know, in the long run. What's best for us? And nobody ever talks about what's best for us. But I'm here today to tell the young ones, it's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. That don't make you less of a woman. That doesn't mean that you're not a good woman. You're just putting yourself first, because I feel like if you can take care of yourself, then everything else is gonna fall into place. But if you can't take care of yourself first, then I mean, how can you demand respect? Which is what we should do. We should demand respect. You know, you're not gonna decide for me how the relationship is gonna go. You know, why do you get that right? And why do we give them that right? Who are they? Who are they? But we've been taught so much that it's all right. But let me tell you, if you living with a man that's jumping on you and every time you look around, you going to work and he's sitting in the bed, that's a toxic relationship unless you got to clear right off the rip. Hey, I'm not gonna, you don't have to work. I just want you to be at home. If that works for you all, that's not toxic, because you're doing what works for your household. And nobody can tell you or should tell you what works for your household, because what works for you might not work for me, and what works for me might not work for you. And then we all have to know our BS level, and that means each one of us know what we can take and what we can't take, and what may be able, what something that you may be able to take, I might not be able to take. Something that I can take, you may not be able to take. You know, so we have to make these decisions. This is my neighbor's kids out here playing this morning, this early Sunday morning. But you know, and it's okay to know that. I'm gonna show y'all what can y'all see it? Well, we're trying to get the house back together, so it's gonna be a gray. But the back part of it, it was yellow. It had been yellow for years, and it was that color when I moved in there. But now we're doing the whole thing gray. So the back part is wood, and our front part is block. And so block is better for if you live in a place with tornadoes, and Tennessee gets plenty of tornadoes. But that's another side note. But my main point to all young women and even older women and women my age that are starting over, just make a decision of what do you want out of a relationship? What are you willing to give? And what are you willing to take? And don't be unrealistic now, because there's no Prince Charmers and there's no Cinderellas. So, but just be honest and decide, what do you want to take out of it? What do you want to give out of it? And then you can make a good decision on what you're willing to put up with. Because sometimes even a man with a whole lot of money is a toxic man, you know, because he does have a whole lot of money. He feels like he's a commodity, especially if he's a man of color. And sometimes when they feel like they're the commodity and they don't realize that you're the commodity, they don't treat you right. So these are all things that we as women have an obligation to teach our younger women. That's my shed, y'all. Have an obligation to teach our younger women what to look out for and what we need to do. And so that's just a little bit of what I wanted to talk about with toxic relationships, you all. This has been the TD Watkins Show. Like I said, this is not a Sunday morning Christian show. This is just a show where we talk. And I know I look tired today, y'all. Honey, I went to Atlanta yesterday with those 5 grandbabies of mine, and they wore me out. I am exhausted today. But you all have a blessed day. Have a good day. And please subscribe. Please like. And please comment. Let's talk about it. Thank you.